Hey there, YouTube. Today we are going to remake this panel sled because the first time I made it, I didn't do a very good job. Hi YouTube, my name is Steve Bonin. Welcome to Urban DIY, where we are devoted to working in small spaces. I have a piece of 1/2-inch Baltic birch or 12 millimeter and some hardwood that I salvaged from a old bed frame, and I bought some aluminum miter bars, I guess. They fit into the miter channels of the tabletop, or the table saw top. Anyway, let's get to taking this old guy apart and making it anew. Okay, I've adjusted these split washers here to take up the slop in the miter slot so that we have no side-to-side motion, yet it's easy enough to continue to move. So I've got these little shims that I'm just placing in the bottom of the miter slot. Just make sure it's cleaned out. The reason I'm using shims is washers, pennies, dimes, they don't fit. They ride up along the edge. So I needed something thinner. So that's just going to make the miter bar sit proud of the table, so that I'm just going to use some double-sided tape, and we'll get that stuck onto the sled base. Okay, I'm just going to flip my fence around so that is on the left side of the blade. Lock it in. Move it up close to the I have a bee here that's in love with me. I'm going to move it up close to the blade, lock it in. This is my leading edge. This edge will get cut. Put it up snug against the fence. Put it down. And there we go. We need to drill our pilot holes. Just to ensure that the drill bit is going to go in the center of the hole, and bar is not going to get moved by drilling in screws. I'm just going to use my self-centering punch to put a little divot in for the pilot holes. Okay, I'm using a number 10 screw, 3/4 of an inch, and I'm chucking up a 3 32 inch bit. So I've just put it into the miter slot, and it's moving very smoothly, much nicer than the old sled. And so I'm just gonna get my fence to the other side. So now we'll just cut that reference edge. Okay, I've centered the rail here, or the fence, between the sides, because I wanted it shorter, so that I'm not likely to reference any panels that I'm cutting up against the end of this. I want only to be referenced to this edge. So I'm just going to put one screw in over here in a hole that was already drilled. I would need a battery to do that. So, okay. So now we're going to come around to the other side. We're going to reference the fence to this edge with this square. And clamp it down. I'm just going to go to the other side of the table and do it, just so they can have a better visual. Yes, that definitely looks square. Okay, we are going to attempt to use the 5-cut method to square up this fence perfectly, or within reason, before we affix it across the bottom. This sled is not running against this fence. It is merely using this auxiliary fence as a support. We'll just mark this edge as our first cut. I'm just going to mark this here with an F for fence. I just have to go get a calculator. Okay, the 5-cut method. I'm going to try to explain this. So this is our 5th cut. The F was against the fence. So I measured F with the calipers, and F is 0.6475. And I'm just going to put a a B down here for bottom. So B is 0.6655. So the difference is 0.0180, which is 18 1/1000ths over 4 cuts. So we're going to take this number and divide it by 4 cuts, which equals 0.0045. So that's 4.5 1/1000ths over the length of the cut, which is 12.325 inches. So that's 325 is 3/8 for anybody who isn't conversant in that. So 0.0045 divided by 12.325 equals 0.000365. So what is that number? That is the deviation per inch. That's a delta. It means change. So the distance from the fence, or from the edge to the pivot point here is 26.5 inches. So to get how much we have to change that point is 26.5 times 0.000365, which is equal to approximately 0.009, which is 9 1/1000ths of an inch, or 9 1/1000ths. So let's see what we can do about that without feeler gauges. So let's see if we can visualize this a bit. This line is our fence, and we made a cut, and our piece, I use that as a ruler, our piece of wood, and I'm going to exaggerate this, is way fatter at the bottom than at the top. So, and this is where we cut here. This is the cut line. Okay, so we can see that if we want that cut line, if we want these sides to become more parallel, as in we want this at the same at the top and as at the bottom, the fence has to rotate in that direction. So, how are we going to do that? Okay, remember that the 9/1000ths had to be applied over the 26.5 inches, which is from here to the edge of the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some double stick tape, and I mean, I really wonder about whether any of this is worth it. And I guess you have to wonder about it too. But this is what they say you have to do to dial in a fence. Oh boy, I can't even get the double stick tape to go. Okay, so that's down. I'm just going to put that right up against the edge and make sure it's square to the edge. And I'm going to take this screw out. So, let's see if we can get two decent pieces of tape. There's two. And trim it off as flat as we can. Move our fence. Put this down here, like this. And now, our fence should have moved exactly 9/1000ths of an inch. So let's get a clamp on there. And we'll drill a hole with our countersink bit. Maybe put one there. Okay. So before we go too crazy, let's just put a square on there and see how it goes. Well, it looks very square. So let's make a cut and see how that goes. The reason I'm making this sled is because of these panels that I bought for an upcoming project, or I bought the sheet of Baltic maple at $91, and I had it cut, and it's not square. None of the cuts are square. This one is out a 16th at least, maybe 3/32. Some of them are out by a whole 1/8 of an inch. And they need to be squared so that I can do my project. So let's set this up and see if we can square up this board. Well, it took me 4 tries to dial this in, but it is finally dialed in. That corner is absolutely square. There is no movement and no daylight. So I call that a success. So there we are. This is my panel sled for squaring up panels. And if you've made it this far, like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Check out these other videos.